Welcome to another episode of the Holistic Sister Circle. Today we have Shelley Hobbs with us. She took herself from crisis to healing and used her journey to help others do the same. She actually went back to school and gained qualifications in massage, Reiki, and crystal healing. And now she helps others remove blocks and come back to their truest expression of themselves. So, Shelley, we are so excited to have you on the Holistic Sister Circle today. And let's just start off by just sharing what's one piece of mainstream news, like what's one piece of mainstream news in the media right now that you feel like people are listening more of than they are focusing on the blockages that they have within their own body?
To be honest, I don't actually watch the news or kind of listen to any sort of news. I focus on myself and my family and my business and my friends and things like that. But saying that, I do feel like people are more and more, especially now, coming and being more open to the more spiritual side of things. A lot of my clients who I would say that wasn't necessarily would class as spiritual are being especially more open to Reiki and the more holistic side of things rather than just focusing on the massage. And I think a lot of people before kind of saw Reiki and things like that as a bit of a pseudoscience, and it was like something that people were just scamming other people with when obviously we know that's not true. And I think a lot of people as well, because you can physically see it working, like obviously with a massage, you can see someone moving their hands over the body, whereas with Reiki, someone's just standing and you can't see the energy coming out. So, but I definitely feel people are being a lot more open to that now, which is absolutely brilliant.
No, this is great. Can you share what Reiki is?
Yeah, of course. So Reiki is a universal life force energy. So obviously, everything in this whole universe is energy. We are formed of energy. Even like our sofa has a frequency of energy. So this energy comes from source and it is channeled by the practitioner. So it travels through their body and out of their hands. And it was mainly used for stress relief and like stress reduction. And then they realized that actually it also heals as well. So not only does it relax you and it releases your stress, but it can heal pretty much anything really. I don't think I've come across anything that it can't be used for. I mean, I even use it when I'm cooking. I stir in the Reiki symbols into our food. When I first did my training, I was literally going around the house like raking everything. You can even send it to a journey. So if you're like going to travel on a plane or you've got a road trip coming up, you can put in the distance symbol and send the Reiki to your journey so that you have a safe journey without any disruptions and things like that. So it's, yeah, it's absolutely amazing. I've had a couple of kind of what I would call quite outstanding transformations with my clients. So I had one client who was waiting to have an amputation and it kind of kept getting cancelled. So she booked me in to see if I could help with this. So during the Reiki treatment, we both visualized her having this amputation so she could move on with her life and get on with her life and get rid of all the pain that this leg was causing her. So yeah, so with the healing energies of the Reiki and through our visualization and manifestations, we were basically able to, I think it was like literally a few days later, she got the call to say that she was going ahead with the operation. And when she got there, it didn't get cancelled and it all went really well. So during the treatment, I sent Reiki to her surgeons as well and the hospital where she was. And yeah, everything went smoothly. Her recovery went really well. It's just, to me, it just feels like magic at the end of my fingertips. It's so good. I also had another client where she had a problem with her ankle, and she was a dancer, and they were basically saying that she had to have this operation if it didn't get better. So she was like, you know, you've I've been given her massages, so, and she knew that I did Reiki, so she was like, you know, I'm willing to try anything because I really don't want to have the operation. So I only gave her one treatment, and literally whatever the problem was, completely healed up, and she didn't have to have the operation. It was absolutely brilliant.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Can you share, so how would I know that I need Reiki? Like, how would I know that I should add this as a form of stress relief? Because I know there's so many different types of stress relievers that are out there, right? You have, some people are focusing on yoga, some people are doing, deep breathing. And I've learned a lot about now body balance and how there's certain forms of Reiki within that. Like, how do I know that Reiki may be the best for me?
So Reiki complements everything that you do. It's also something that can empower something. So it could be a goal that you're working on, or it could be like you've just said, if you're doing other things, it can help to empower that. Um, so I wouldn't say you have to kind of need it to have it. It's such an enjoyable experience whenever you have it, and it works with the person on an individual basis. So whatever you're going through at that moment in time, it is so intelligent that it knows exactly where to go in the body or the energy field, and it knows exactly what needs to be healed. It's like your best friend that knows you better than yourself. Um, so yeah, I would definitely just encourage everyone to have it as part of their daily, well, not necessarily their daily life, but you know, as a regular modality that they can use.
Yeah, and then is this something that they can use themselves, or do they actually have to work with a Reiki practitioner to make sure that they're able to utilize the energy the best way that they're supposed to remove the blockages?
Mm. So we all have the ability of the Reiki energy within us, and you can obviously go to a practitioner for them to give you the healing, but if you wanted to do it yourself, then you can become attuned to it. So a Reiki master or a Reiki teacher will be able to take you through the attunement. So there's 3 different levels. Level 1 is about the self. So it's kind of like the introduction to Reiki, where you learn about the history and where it came from and how it's used and how to use that energy for yourself. And that's, for me, is like the best part, because you get to really play with it, you get to really explore it and use it as your own way. And like I said before, like that's the great thing about Reiki, because it does work with you as an individual person. So when you do get attuned to it, it will work with your own energy and your own essence of your own energy, and it will really help you with whatever you want it to.
No, I love that. And then I'm asking these questions too because I know we have quite a few listeners who are not part of the health space. Like, we have certain people who are business owners, and then we have people who are just have no idea what these alternative medicine modalities are. So I think it's great that you're able to just that people are able to learn in both scenarios. Now, when it comes to how you leverage Reiki just in your day-to-day life, I know you talked about the symbols. Can
Mhm.
you share, like, what do those symbols look like? I'm curious. Like, what would I do?
So the symbols are very sacred, and I can only share them with people who have been trained in Reiki. So it's not something, I mean, you
Oh,
can find them on Google if you really wanted to have a look. But yeah, it's not something that you just give out to people. So obviously, if people came to me to train, once they'd done their level 1, they could do their level 2, and that's when they would receive the symbols to work with. Um, but on a daily basis, I do have Reiki in my life every day. So I usually start by doing what's called Hatsureiho. So you bring the Reiki into your body, into your being, you fill yourself up with the energy, and then you send it out to the whole world. So every living being, so every human being, every creature, every plant, like just the whole universe, the earth, the sky, the galaxies, the planets, everything. And then you kind of just sit with the Reiki and feel its energy. and then you can recite the principles, so which are: just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will not anger. Just for today, I will be kind to all life. Just for today, I will be grateful for everything. Just for today, I will work with honesty and integrity. And to have that as a daily practice for me is so powerful, because it reminds me that, one, I'm not alone on this planet. There's not only do I am very lucky to have the support of my family and my friends, but I also have the support of the universe and of all of these different energies that we can bring in whenever we need to. Um, and it reminds us that we don't have to worry. Obviously, there are times when we are going to worry, but just bringing those principles into my daily life is a really nice, comforting reminder that there are a lot of things that may seem bigger than us, but actually it just helps you to get back into that balance. And obviously remembering about kind of being angry, again, it reminds you to focus on the things that are important, and obviously being grateful and being kind to people, again, not only helps you, but it helps everyone else. And collectively, like, if everyone was to do that every day and just feel the gratitude for everything in their life, and if everyone was kind to each other, like, just how amazing would that be to live in a world like that?
No, I appreciate you sharing this so much, because when I was listening to you, it just made me think of a daily meditation or affirmations. And I think a lot of the times we get so bogged down with the day and we're trying to hurry up and do the next thing, and we don't actually sit and take a moment to breathe and really focus on like setting the intention for the day. I know we always talk about this in yoga. I'm actually in yoga teacher training right now, and one of the things that we always talk about is, before we start anything, we always say, let's set our intention for this practice. And that just reminded me of that, of like setting your intention for the day and knowing that you're covered. And I love that. Are there any other sayings or things that, are aligned with it, or do you pretty much say the same mantra every
Yeah,
day?
so that's the Reiki principles. So when I did my Reiki master course, so I would, like, people would congratulate me, which was obviously amazing, and they would say, "Oh, you're a Reiki master now," and it's like, well, that I have done the Reiki master course. However, I don't see myself as a master of Reiki. I see Reiki as a master of me. It's always guiding me. It's the first thing that I go to if I'm looking for support or guidance, or anything like that. I always turn to the Reiki to show me the signs, or give me that guidance and that comfort and that love and that support that I need. Um, so yeah, I try to make sure that I'm staying out of my ego with that, which I think is always good advice.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because have you ever had anyone ask you the difference between maybe like Reiki, Holy Spirit, and then universe?
Yeah, it can get very confusing, and obviously, so when you're talking about, like, Reiki comes from source, that can be many different things to many different people. So some people see source as the energy inside themselves. Some people see source as the whole universe. Some people see source as like a certain religion or God. So I think it just depends on what you believe in, because ultimately we create our own reality. So um, yeah, but I suppose for me, I would say, I think definitely source is the energy that's in the center of the universe, which is kind of where I vision when I'm channeling the Reiki. Um, and again, like, our soul, it's hard to explain in words. It's like I can feel it and I can see it, but to actually get it out in words can be quite difficult. But I feel like our spirit is something that, like, never changes, and it's that energy of who we are, basically. So if you think of our consciousness as one energy, and as we ascend or as we go on our healing journey, we're kind of basically coming back to that one consciousness. So, and I feel like that's where our spirit is, and our soul is kind of part of the journey to get there, if that makes sense. It can get quite complicated.
Yeah, and no, I only asked because that's what I was thinking. I was like, what's the difference? Or is this kind of like your spiritual guide? Because for me, um, I don't necessarily say Reiki. I didn't even know that there were Reiki principles. Like I'm learning right now. But, for me, when I am having those conversations with from a spiritual perspective, I normally tap into Holy Spirit. So I'm just normally saying, okay, Holy Spirit, what do you have for me today? Or what is the thing that you want me to um change or channel today? And a lot of the times when that does happen, if I have a pen or paper in my hand will actually start shaking. And then I will start writing what it is that I need to do. And it's not me because one, a lot of the words that are used are not words that I would ever use. And then two, the handwriting is not my handwriting. So
Wow.
when I shared that with, well, actually, I've never shared that with anybody but my partner, because I was like, people probably think I'm crazy or something. But I just share that with you now because I'm just like, I don't know if I know everybody has their own way of like channeling that inner power, inner source, and inner being. And I'm just like, what man, I wonder what that looks like on for other people, like when they're channeling that, what does that look like for them? And some people I've talked to people in the past where they hear voices that aren't necessarily theirs. Like they hear other people's voices and they're trying to figure out or differentiate who this voice is. So I was wondering if when you're channeling it too, does that happen to you at all?
Yeah, well, I'm glad you said that actually, because like you, if I'm wanting again guidance, or if I'm doing readings for other people, I do prefer to do them as a written reading, because that's when I get all of the messages that come through. And um whether I'm typing it or writing it down, it literally, like, my hand can't like type or write quick enough because it's literally being downloaded so quickly. um but I do get visions sometimes when I'm giving people Reiki, or I get like little messages that come through, and sometimes the person can understand it straight away. Sometimes they have to kind of go away and sit with it, and then they'll give me a message like a couple of weeks later, like, oh, it all makes sense now. And so yeah, it's very interesting how, like you say, everyone has their own way. Like some people, like you say, can get these visions of what's going to happen and premonitions, and like you say, some people it will be through a written thing, some people it'll be through movement. And some people can have like that connection and have a full-on conversation with a guide or an angel or
Yeah.
something. So yeah, I think the way I tend to work is usually on feelings and colors. So I pick up like the energy and the messages that way, but like I said, also with the writing as well.
No, that's so true because when I think of just the theme of the podcast, like like this color green is something that I saw through a walk. So it wasn't even like I'm just gonna pick the color green. I remember I was sitting by a pond next to my house and I was journaling. And this is, at this time I was like really trying to channel, okay, what is my spirit saying to me right now, and really guiding me in that journey. And when I opened my eyes after that meditation, I started walking home and all I could see were these like green sparks everywhere. And it was this color green, but it was everywhere. And I was like, okay, I don't know what that means. And I remember going to the house and my partner, he goes, "Oh, is that like money?" Like, I'm like, I don't know, but and then I started learning a little bit more about the colors and like what the colors mean. And I know that green is more of expansion. And at the time, I didn't know what it was, but now I'm kind of seeing it playing out for itself. And it wasn't something that I personally thought about. It was just a matter of me focusing on that inner being, my Holy Spirit, and allowing it to guide me to build, what we have today. So I love what you're saying because I can literally see it in real time, which is awesome. Now, there is another question I would like to ask, and if you don't want to answer, it's okay. But one of the things that I've noticed as well is when people may not know how to channel like their spirit guide, they don't know how to channel it, so they get scared.
Mm,
And it gets to the point where they get so scared where they may go to a doctor and say, hey, like, I'm hearing things or I'm seeing things, and now they're being diagnosed with, a mental illness or whatever it is.
yeah.
And the reason I'm asking this is because I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but for example, my sibling was diagnosed with schizophrenia at 18. And I personally believe that at that time he was actually being channeled to learn more about his feelings and really understand who he is. And I do believe that spirit was trying to have conversations with him, but it scared him too much to want to go deeper. And instead of really channeling those, now he found himself in like a psych ward. And now it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm taking all these different types of medication now, and now it's 10 years later because he'll be 28 next year. It's like 10 years later, and I'm still lost. I still don't really know what I want to do with my life or where I am. And I don't know if you've had any experience with that, but what would you say to someone who may feel like they're going crazy or they don't know how to channel these feelings? And obviously, if I get it, some people may actually obviously have mental illnesses, but
Mm.
how are you able to really channel it in a way where you can understand if is this something that I should go deeper with?
Yeah, unfortunately, that story seems to be heard too often. I've come across things like that far too often, and it really is sad. But there are definitely ways in which you can get to know your spirit guides or the angels and the energies that are around you. But I would say before you kind of go into anything like that where you're working with other energies or you're channeling things, to look at different ways of protecting yourself. So that you can use sage to clear the energy of the room and of yourself. You can do things like visualizing a white bubble around yourself, again to protect your energy. But I would definitely look at all the different ways that there are and pick one that feels right for you. I mean, you can even use crystals as protection. Again, Reiki is another good way of putting that protection on around you. But definitely find something that you feel comfortable with working with, and then you can explore how you're channeling and who it's with. So for example, if it was like your guardian angel that you wanted to connect with, so it'd be you can do it similar to how you would with a meditation. So you obviously make yourself relaxed with the deep breathing, and once you feel like you're in a comfortable and relaxed state, then you can ask that person or that energy to come forward, and you could say things like, okay, guardian angel, I would like to connect with you, please can you show yourself to me, and just wait to see what comes up. So you might have a vision of what this person looks like. You might get a smell of what that is, or you could get words, or you could see a color, or you could feel something. So I think it's really good to have a really good understanding of yourself before you do anything like that, so you can differentiate between what is you and what is not. That's really important as well. So then once you've got the sense of what that is, that your guardian angel coming through. So for me, it's kind of like a feeling, and I get colors. Sometimes I get like a ringing in my ear or things like that. And you can ask your guardian angel to do different things so you know it's truly them. And you can also ask them if, for example, they're communicating with you with feelings and you don't want them to communicate with you like that, you could ask, can you please communicate with me with words? So I know that it's you and I can understand you clearly and precisely. That these energies, whether they're spirit guides or angels, anything like that, they are here to support us. They want to help us. And by having that dialogue with them and telling them how you want to be communicated with, they can then work with us. They're literally kind of always around us, just waiting for us to ask for help, and then they can be like, yay, they want my help, I can go in and help them. So when I started doing this type of thing, I would do what I've just said, where I asked them to come in. I asked my guardian angel to put her hand on my heart, so I knew what that felt like. And then I asked
Mm,
her to step away, just so you can differentiate between what it feels like when they're close and when they're not. So in the beginning, I was like, kind of a bit like what you said, like I was a bit scared, like, is this really going on? But the more you do it, the more you realize that actually, no, you're not going crazy, and this is actually happening. And it's like anything, like with yoga and with meditation, it's a practice,
right.
and it's something that you have to slowly build on. um so yeah, definitely kind of get used to kind of talking to them and having that dialogue with them, with how you want to connect with them, and getting to know what it feels like when you ask them to come in and when you ask them to step away, because that will really help. But I would also advise people to join like communities of like-minded people where they talk about um things like that, because then you can have that discussion with them, like, what was it like for you, what did you experience, and you can ask questions and get feedback and get guidance as well. So then, one, you kind of get a bit more information from other people, and two, you don't feel like you're going crazy and you don't feel like you're alone, and you get that support.
Right. No, I appreciate you for this because this is a topic that I've wanted to share. Like I wanted to talk about for a little while, and didn't have the I would say the guidance to talk about it in depth with some of our other guests, and for whatever reason it led me to share it with you. So so yeah, I appreciate that. Now, for those who would love to just connect with you further in your journey and just learn more about what it is that you do and how you can potentially serve them, what does that process look like?
So I mainly work on Facebook, so you can find, obviously, just look for my profile. I have a little bio underneath my name that says kind of like about what I do. So it will talk about like Reiki and massage and crystal healing and things like that. Um, I am working on my website. It's taking a lot longer than anticipated, but I don't kind of really feel like I need it. Like I say, I have loads of clients. I'm actually, for the one-to-one in-person kind of holistic treatments, I'm not actually taking on any new clients at the moment. But what I am working on with my best friend actually is a group for kind of like a membership, but somewhere that's really safe for people to come, well, mainly women really, to talk about anything to do with their periods. So I found out last October that I have, as well as having polycystic ovaries, I also have PMDD. And thankfully my best friend had already been through this, so she could advise me like how to track my period and like the supplements that I need to take and all that sort of guidance. And I just thought, if I didn't have that advice and that support, that could have been a really scary time, because there were days where I actually thought that I might have a mental illness, like something like bipolar, because I would have days where I was like literally on the floor, so exhausted, so low, and then a few days later I'd be like on top of the world, and my productivity and creativity levels were like on point. So I was just like, what is going on here? So I just thought, like, how amazing would it be to have a group where people can come and kind of go back to our ancestral ways, where women went off together, they bled together, they really connected with each other, they held each other, they supported each other, they guided each other. And not only did they connect with each other, but they connected with the like Mother Earth and the universe and all the like spirits and everything, and then they took all of that wisdom back to their own community. So that's kind of our vision, to create this this really amazing supportive group where people can share their stories and feel heard and feel valued and just feel worthy, and really know that these symptoms, you know, they're quite normal with certain conditions, and they're not going crazy. And just to bring in all of the holistic side of it as well, so we can bring in the Reiki and the crystal healing and the cards and, you know, all the natural remedies and everything, and just have it all in one place. So so that will be something that will be going on in my page. So you'll know that you've found the right profile if there's lots of content talking about that type of thing. So yeah, I think Facebook would definitely be the right way to go. But I'm happy to give out you know, like my email address or my phone number if anyone wanted to have like a more one-on-one chat about anything as well.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate that. What I'll do, well, of course, for privacy reasons, I'll just let anybody reach out to me or you if they want to do that. But as far as your email, I can put that in the show notes.
Okay,
Yeah.
brilliant.
Oh gosh. But no, Shelley, this has been amazing. Thank you for your time, your energy, and just sharing this space with us today. And we're truly grateful for you being here.
Oh, thank you so much. No, literally likewise. It's been absolutely amazing, and it really has been an honor to be here and share myself with you guys, and hopefully it will inspire some people as well to live a more holistic life and yeah, and reach out to get the support that they need. So thank you very much for having me.
Amazing. Queen, thank you so much for tuning in. It truly warms our heart that you're taking the time out of your day to connect with us. If you'd like to connect with our guests further, you can find their information located in the description section of this episode. And if you found this episode helpful, share with another queen. And don't forget to connect with the Holistic Sister Circle on Instagram and Facebook. And until next week, stay blessed. Mwah.